first things first, one thing that I'm going to tell you before I start this whole spiel. Last week I started my fun little experiment. Now technically that experiment is over because I got a little too much information. It took it in a different direction that I didn't think I was going to go into, but now I totally have to. But that is a conversation to be kicked down the road till next week, in which case we will talk all about the fun adventure that I got to go on while sitting in front of a computer and not actually going anywhere other than to work. So this weekend I went to this thing, which was cool. Seeing how it's a Martin Luther King weekend, I think it's just the day that we made into a weekend. I don't really know how holidays work. Color me confused. I found myself at the 3rd Annual Black Comic Book Festival. It is a festival. I don't know what a festival is. There was some debate over this. Is it a festival because it's a day? Because it's not a convention, which is multiple days, and a conference, which I guess is multiple days, and suits? Or possibly these are all just arbitrary words people like to say, so whatever is most alliterative, illustrative. There's a whole day in the Schomburg with a bunch of comic book writers and artists selling comic books at our huge table covered in our own comic books. This is our booth from this year. Is an upgrade from last year where we had half a table in like 2 books. We had like 2 or 3 titles. Now we've crossed an entire 2 tables worth of content. Oh man. Rosarium was growing up so quick. I spent the day hanging out with a bunch of rosy peeps. Again, that's what we're calling them. Some of them I met before. Most of them I met before in some form or fashion. We talked about things and stuff, which are my favorite 2 things to talk about. We sold so many books. So many books. It was kind of insane because I for most of that day, I got to be the money man. I got to hold all the money. We started out with like a whole bunch of 1s and ended with a whole bunch of 20s. We sold so much stuff, my pockets were like dripping with cash. And then I had to give it back. I was really sad about having to give it back. It was the first time I ever felt a sense of accomplishment. Well, monetarily speaking. Anyway, to cap off my Martin Luther King weekend, on which I have to work on Monday, so technically work caps off my Martin Luther King weekend, I saw Selma. You know, I said I wasn't going to. I saw Django in theaters. I saw 12 Years a Slave in theaters. And you know, those experiences were kind of enough with the whole everything black and painful that we have to sit through. But I find myself, Martin Luther King weekend, nothing to do. So instead, I decided to go see the movie about the guy who is credited with leading the civil rights movement. Because he was like the last to die. I don't know. I mean, so I saw Selma, which was very, very good for a movie that is probably in no way going to win an Oscar for Best Picture. The story was, I mean, I understand that there are people, mostly in the LBJ camp. You know, that is a set of initials that you really can't say slowly or with a pause between the L and the B. Anyway, mostly in the LBJ camp who were like, oh, this is inaccurate. LBJ was amazing. He was such a good man. And I go, yeah, I mean, I guess, but how do we know? Really? I mean, we weren't in the room. And look, I've seen enough biopics to know that, yeah, there's a little wiggle room when it comes to, like, performance and stuff like that, because having watched Frost v. Nixon, the movie, and then the actual interview, yeah, the movie is more dramatic, and yeah, there's inflections that change and intentions that seem to morph into being a little more dramatic, because it's a movie, and if you watch real people sit and talk like regular human beings, you will probably fall asleep because it's boring. People are boring. I'm sorry, they just are. But, you know, you throw in an expert camera move and like a dramatic reading and you go, oh, you know what? That was awesome. That was cool. I learned in a class once in college that it's like 55% the way you say it. Goose the intention a little bit. You make it sound a little better and that's what happens. And then you get an Oscar. But this is really besides the point. Selma is a really good movie. I fought wanting to go see it. And then, you know, it's just everyone said it was good. And it's got David Oyelowo in it. And he's like in everything. And I guess I didn't see The Butler because no. But I did see this. I guess I get my black card punched for this one. You know, they get like, 10? And then you get like a free Cadillac or something like that. I don't know. What is it to be black? I thought it was just like a hue thing. But do I think you should go see Selma? Yes. Are you black? Then you should definitely see it. It should probably be like required watching. If you're not, yes, because you should know how hard it was to be black at a certain point in time. Not that it's gotten any easier, but I guess there are less mass beatings. Alright, so now we are here at the end, and there are things to talk about. Well, there aren't really things to talk about. Look, there's a thing down there. You should, like, click on it, and then you will get to hear my inane ramblings all the time. I have absolutely nothing. You know what? Let's just go, okay? You know, I'm kind of done. I have nothing. It's like really weird, and it's like times to talk about. I don't know what I want to, I'm just gonna go.